Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about The Terminator, 1984, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Linda Hamilton, and Michael Biehn. I think that's how you say his last name. Now, why am I talking about The Terminator instead of a new release, or a release that I said I would bring up? Well, not a lot of those movies are exactly good, so I decided just to talk about some good movies before I get into the bad movies. And what better to talk about than The Terminator? And it's directed by James Cameron, and it's a film that I grew up watching. So the plot to The Terminator is in the year 2028, I believe. There's a nuclear war, and Skynet, they send back a Terminator back through time to kill the mother of the leader of the Resistance, and John Connor. And the Terminator is sent back to kill his mother, Sarah Connor. And in order to protect Sarah Connor, they send a human back in time named Kyle Reese. And all he has to do is protect her from the Terminator, and now we have our movie. Now, where do I start? We'll start from the acting. Everyone in this movie is great, especially our two main leads, Linda Hamilton and Michael Biehn. I always mess up his last name. And Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's also great in this movie. I'm a fan of Schwarzenegger. I think he's really good as the Terminator in this movie. And he's great in all. He's good in all of the Terminator movies. Even the ones I don't like, he's good in them. There are some things that I really love about this movie, and that's the pacing, because it feels like there's not one single dull moment in this movie. It feels like it's always moving, because ultimately the meat of Terminator, the Terminator story, it's a chase. And what I like about that is it feels like it's always moving. It's always a chase, and when it happens, it's pretty fun to watch. And we'll get into the action sequences later, but we'll stay in the positives because there's a lot of good things about this movie, and the characters feel real in this movie. Because Sarah Connor, you can understand her as a character. She's kind of a character who can barely balance out her checkbook. I think that's what she said. And she's a good character in this movie. And in T2, we'll get into her later when we talk about Terminator 2. But for now, she's pretty much the audience character. But we can relate to her because we can understand her as a character. And Kyle Reese in this movie, there are some dream sequences in this movie, but they feel like that's what's there to set the stakes in this movie. That's another thing I like, the stakes in this movie. They feel like they have weight. This movie feels like it has weight, because it has stakes, and they're really, really big because of a nuclear war that killed 3 billion people, I believe, in the year 1997. Which is when Judgment Day happened. I really liked how James Cameron directed this movie, and the music, I also really like. The way he pretty much directs it, it always feels like the camera's moving, or there's something happening. He doesn't just throw a random shot on the screen. Every shot has a meaning and a purpose, and it shows everything that you need to in one shot. That's what I really like. And the music in this movie, it kind of has a techno edge to it at some times, but I really like it. I listen to it because I think it's a lot of fun to listen to, and it never feels out of place. Now, before I continue on to the positives, I have to dip into the negatives, but it's not a lot. It's just one thing. I don't consider this movie a masterpiece. I think it's a great movie, just not a masterpiece, and my only issue really with it is the editing. In the action sequences, it's a little annoying. I get to what they were going for. They were trying to make it feel like it was very fast-paced, and it worked sometimes. Don't get me wrong. The action sequences are fun. They're just not fantastic, like in Terminator 2. And I'm trying to judge this movie as a standalone film, but Terminator 2 is just fantastic. And it does everything this movie does just a little bit better, at the very least. Another thing is the Terminator, the villain. I haven't really talked about this yet. He feels intimidating and terrifying. But one thing that always I didn't notice like so many times I watched this like back when I was younger. Arnold Schwarzenegger, for I don't know how long in this movie this happened, he doesn't have eyebrows. It was weird and distracting, and my mom pointed it out. She said, in this scene, I always found it distracting that Arnold Schwarzenegger doesn't have eyebrows, and I was like, wait, what? Are you serious? I never noticed that every time I watched it. I just noticed that when she pointed that out. So, Mom, you made me realize something I never noticed after watching it so many times. And also, you can tell this movie, these special effects are kind of dated, but I can forgive it because it's an older movie. It was made a long time ago. It was released 33 years ago, approximately. I don't know the exact date. Now, back to my few positives I have left off the top of my head. The ending of this movie is great. It's fantastic. It's very suspenseful and terrifying. And the Terminator, even though some special effects are dated, but you can forgive it because it's an older movie, but when it's an actual practical Terminator, when it's not using CGI, it looks fantastic. Or any effects, it just looks great. Still scary to this day for me. I think I've wrapped up everything I had to say about the Terminator. This is a great movie. Not perfect, like I said on Twitter, and I've discussed in this video, but this is a very great movie, and I'm going to give it an A. It's one of my favorites ever. Not as good as T2, but it's great as a standalone film, and part of the Terminator franchise. Thank you as always for watching my videos, and if you enjoyed this review, comment down below what you thought of it, and don't forget to leave a like. Link to my Twitter will be down in the description below, and subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, which is probably going to be American Made or Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Either way, I'm excited to review those. Either of those two, sorry. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.